Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we honor the House of Black as we take a look at the AEW Unrivaled Supreme Collection Malakai Black figure from Jazwares. Let's do this. Just wanted to quickly start things off here with a look at the packaging because this is gorgeous presentation. I won't be going over this for all the other Supreme Collection figures. However, for this one, I just kind of wanted to get a chance to kind of get my 2 cents in on it, and it's so beautiful. I love this presentation. Nice big open window. You can see the figure, see a side view of some of the accessories. Kind of the gold label as they've been having on pretty much all the AEW figures. It looks really, really classy, and you've got the entranceway graphic in the back there. So just absolutely just gorgeous. I love the way it's done. We can see some of the accessories here on one side, and then we got the rest of the accessories on the other side, and in the back, a picture of the talent with the signature, and just really well done. The only small gripe I have with this packaging is I think once this is open, it's open, kind of like all the AEW figures, and I was really hoping that with this line, Jazwares was gonna do more of a kind of like, you can open it, you can put everything back in it, stuff like that. It does not look to be the case. So obviously I'll find out in a second when I actually cut this open, but other than that, absolutely fantastic presentation. Aesthetically speaking, this figure looks amazing, and as you may know, the Supreme Collection is the top of the line for AEW figures, certainly at the recording of this video, and I would say that absolutely is backed up here, just in the amount of detail and just everything. I mean, obviously, Malakai Black is absolutely covered in tattoos, and they have all of them here, done very clearly. I mean, obviously there'll be tampographs, but everything is there in exquisite detail, really. So that's amazing. Likeness is also very, very great. We've got a lot to talk about in terms of head sculpts when we get to accessories in the next section. But I mean, as you can see here, like that definitely looks like Malakai Black. And the details might be a little soft as they are in the AEW figures, but that is definitely not a detractor. It still looks like a spot-on likeness. So that is fantastic. Proportions of the figure in general are good. Get that focus there. Yeah, just a really cool looking figure overall, and hit all the notes they needed to. I love the texture that they have in the knee and kick pads, and just awesome looking figure, and everything I was hoping to get out of a Malakai Black figure. We get an absolutely insane amount of accessories with the Supreme Collection in general, and certainly here with Malakai Black. And that's because with the Supreme Collection, we're essentially getting 2 completely separate looks for each wrestler, which is a fantastic idea, and I'm so happy to have this in my collection for that. So let's jump right in with everything we have. So starting off with the hands, we just get kind of some standard gripping hands, not even full-on C-grips, right out of the box, and then a couple of fists, which of course makes sense. Then we get into the heads. We have not 1 or 2, but 5 separate head sculpts. And I'm gonna start right here. The one I have on the figure itself right now is the more corrupted, just kind of stoic face, which again, the likeness is spot on. Then we get another version of the kind of more corrupted, as we have last seen Malakai, just with gritted teeth this time. Then we get Malakai Black as we kind of first saw him in AEW, which is kind of that slight corruption on the right eye. Really well done. Again, just all these head sculpts are great. Then we get 2 different masked heads. We get his standard entrance mask with the, kind of branches / antlers here, and the just like kind of dangly bits, and kind of the more just straight up skull look to it. Nice depth to it too, as it is this mask piece is an overlay on the head sculpt itself, so it gives it some nice depth. And then finally, we get kind of his pay-per-view premium event mask, and I am so happy this is here. The second I saw this look at, I forget which pay-per-view he debuted this look at, but I've wanted it since, and the fact they just his first figure got it, that skull visage, the huge horns, and all the mossy pieces just looks so good. Let me try and focus a little bit more there, and just awesome head sculpt. Then we get not 1 pair of legs, but 2, and so right out of the box we get the kind of standard trunks that have the more kind of branching graphic on the back. And then we get a separate set of legs with same knee pads and kick pads, but we get the kickboxing shorts with the House of Black symbol in red. So that's pretty cool. Then we get two separate kind of cardigan cloak deals. Right out of the box, we get one that looks slightly more worn, a little more aged. I definitely prefer this one. So you can see the armholes. They have the little scarf piece actually sewn in there. Very, very well done, especially at this price point. So just really cool. And then we get a second one. It's a little more cleaned up, not quite as tattered. And I haven't put this one on the figure yet, but still like excellently done. Same thing with the scarf being here, kind of sewn in there. Then finally, we get the overlay vest. So you can see that rib pattern with the kind of tattered, what I'm assuming is supposed to be flesh. And then we get the spine sculpt on the back, just really cool looking overall. And awesome to be able to see this kind of not in motion, because obviously as entrance gear goes, it just gets taken off, on the way to the ring. And you never really get a really great look at it. So happy that these are the accessories. Figure feel, balance, and articulation are pretty much all perfect here. And this is definitely above and beyond a lot of the AEW figures. And usually when I do the articulation section, I try to start every figure in a freestanding kick pose. Malakai Black is probably the most relevant for that, since that is obviously a signature of his. And as you can see, freestanding, this took like 2 seconds to set up. The crunch is deep enough that it works. Not only that, but the figure is an absolute joy to pose. The plastic is nice. So yeah, let's look at the articulation scheme. So at the head, we have our standard ball hinge. So we're getting about that far up. The hair sculpt's what we're gonna run into there. We can bury the chin. Not really any tilt. We actually get butterfly joints for the first time in a Jazwares figure, or not Jazwares, but AEW figure. But unfortunately, they don't really move a lot. You do get a little bit of something, but you really gotta push it. Also worth noting that the arms do pop out. There we go. So you can actually see that. And that actually helps you get the ring gear on, which is very nice. So that's that. We can come up into our Y pose. So all the way up, we do get bicep swivel. We get double jointed elbows. We get hinge and swivel at the wrists, all horizontal. We get a ball joint at the diaphragm. We get a ball joint at the waist. So that's gonna give us a nice deep crunch forward, and then some excellent arch back as well. Get the focus, thank you. And then of course you're gonna get side to side. And because these are ball joints, these can be separated as well. There's some plastic in between the joints. And I love when you can just disassemble a figure without having to heat anything up or anything like that. So that is always welcome. Come to the hips, almost full splits, absolutely beautiful. Of course, we have thigh swivel, double jointed knees with pretty much no hindrance from the knee pads, which is insane. Just, I can't say enough about this figure. Then we get some boot swivel. We get perfect point. We get the slightest bit of forward. We get some really, really nice rocker. And then finally, we actually get toe joints. Not too much there, but we do get a little bit. So that's articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other AEW figures. With some other wrestling figures, including his own WWE Elite Collection figure. With some Hasbro and Mattel. With some imports. With some monsters. Finally, with an articulated Icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valaverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the AEW Unrivaled Supreme Collection Malakai Black figure is that this is an incredible figure and absolutely earns that Supreme title, because everything about this figure feels premium. The feel of the plastic, all the joints have a really nice fluidity to them without nothing loose, nothing tight, except maybe those butterfly joints, which part of that is definitely the sculpt and the other part I'm not really sure. So, but I mean, that is a very minor gripe considering, the insane amount of accessories you get and just the love and attention to detail that went into this figure, and I'm imagining the other Supremes as well. So absolutely worth picking up if you are a Malakai Black fan. If you are just collecting AEW figures, do not pass on this at all. Definitely pick it up. So I will include links in the description below to where you can pick up yours if you are so interested. So please check that out. And beyond that, I just hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider doing all the things that you would normally do on a YouTube channel that you enjoy. And yeah, with all that being said, I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.